You know, in their mantra for life, never forget, every silver lining has a black cloud. But I want us to be careful of these people, because sometimes I think we need to challenge them, because sometimes I think they're unaware of how their negativity and their misery can impact those around them. Maybe you could even use humour to diffuse the situation. You know, how long have you been a motivational speaker then? But I think we need to be careful that although people might be miserable by nature, let's just be prepared to challenge that and sometimes use humour to diffuse the situation. Second point would be this. A reason why people are negative? Maybe they're lacking confidence. Maybe in your workplace at the moment there's been a lot of change. People are moving out of their comfort zone. They lack the confidence for that new task. But rather than say to you, hey, you know, I'm struggling here, I don't know if I've got the confidence or the competence to do this, they'd rather resist by being negative. And so perhaps with some support, with some coaching and with some further training, you develop people's competence, which in turn develops their confidence. Once that's been achieved, hopefully you start to diminish their negativity.
I think this is a good point, and I don't know how many of you guys are fans of Debbie Daly. I don't know if she came up with this or she heard it from somebody. It's actually pretty common knowledge that when someone's negative, when they're being negative, that generally comes from a place of pain, and that's absolutely true. So what he's saying right now, I think, is more from an what they call organizational psychology. You know, this is a kind of from a business perspective, what you need to have people thinking. And if you give them training and you make them more competent, or if it's just a friend or a family member and they feel better about themselves, you'll see the negative behavior diminish. It'll just start to drop because they found something to feel good about. And I think, but that's not the case with all negative people. There are plenty of negative people who are highly successful who are still pure dicks. And we're going to talk more about them in a minute.
Here's your third point as to why some people are negative. A feeling of injustice. Hey, maybe they've got a point. Maybe they have been treated unfairly. Maybe they haven't been listened to. Maybe they've not had a chance to put forward their case. Maybe what would really benefit them at the moment is to have a good listening to. People need to feel that they have been understood and they need to feel important. And the best way to do that very often is to give them a good listening to. However, sometimes people's feelings of injustice is more born out of a sense of entitlement. And sometimes, hey, reality rules. You know, it would be lovely to go into McDonald's and say, I'll have the lobster thermidor, please. Yeah, it would be nice to have, but it ain't on the menu. And I think some people's sense of injustice can be valid, but sometimes comes out of unrealistic expectations. And therefore we need to get them to focus on what is on the menu rather than what isn't on the menu. So, in order to deal with negative people, recognise their reasons. They could be miserable by nature, they may lack confidence, or there may be a sense of injustice. Be prepared to understand where people are coming from, but also be prepared to challenge it. You see, if you leave negative behaviours unchecked, they can spread like poison. And when you are listening to people who are feeling there's been a sense of injustice, ask